Hi, everyone. Here's a paragraph that I think could use showing. You've probably heard that mantra when you've been reading about memoir writing, and that is show, don't tell. And here's a good example from an actual personal narrative of one of my students. And I'm going to run through what I would suggest to this author to bring this paragraph to life so we really experience what happened to her. So I was just pausing this video and reading the paragraph. And then after you play back again, I will offer my suggestions for revision. So first of all, that line at the beginning, all parents have an indelible bond with their children even before they're born. To me, that's the start of an essay. That's not what we're doing here. What we're trying to do is write personal narratives, memoir, autobiography, scenes. And a scene doesn't usually begin with an essay-like introduction. You can do those later if you want, but let's focus in the writing process on getting the scene down. And if you go through this paragraph, really we don't have a fully developed scene. Also in that point about telling, in the 1, 2, 3, 4th sentence, the author tells us that her mother had these hardships, but we don't know what they are yet. And it's better to show those hardships maybe in an earlier part of the book. Also, she talks about the fatigue that her mother faced. That's a telling point, telling us her mother had fatigue. But what I would suggest is show it. Come up with a short little scene, maybe even just a paragraph, showing her mother having that fatigue. You know, when she comes home from work, what does she do? Does she sit down on the couch and just put her feet up and maybe fall asleep right away? My father used to do that. He would come home from work, go to the basement, lie on the couch, and he'd be out in 5 minutes. Showing that fatigue would be better than just saying that she had that. Also, we're getting some secondhand information here. You know, I apparently was the type of child who speaks early. My mother said that I have been a cheerful, kind, and sensible child. I would suggest showing that, even if it's a later scene in life, maybe when the author has grown up a bit, but getting her mother to retell some incident, something that happened when she was a child. Obviously, she probably won't remember necessarily, certainly at this age, but if she can retell that through her mother, then we get to experience what this author was like as a child.